Jonah flees from the Lord. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went abroad and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. All the sailors, Bye burp, look at that. Excuse me. Let me see. Where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went abroad and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God. And then they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below the deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went to him and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us, and we will not perish." Then the sailors said to each other, "Come, let us cast lots to find out who is responsible for this calamity." They cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. So they asked him, "Tell us, who is responsible for making all this trouble for us?" Who is responsible for making all this trouble for us? What do you do? Where do you come from? What is your country? From what people are you? He answered, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land." This terrified them, and they asked, "What have you done?" They knew he was running away from the Lord, because he had already told them so. The sea was getting rougher and rougher. So they asked him, "What should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us?" "Pick me up and throw me into the sea," he replied. I don't know why that's so funny. Why? Is he being sarcastic? All right. What happens next? And then we become calm. "I know it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you." Instead, the men did their best to row back to land. But they could not, for the sea grew even wilder than before. Then they cried to the Lord, "Oh Lord, please do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man. For you, O Lord, have done as you please." Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard. And the raging sea grew calm. At this, the men greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. But the Lord provided a great fish to swallow Jonah. And Jonah was inside the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah's prayer. From inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord. He said, "In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. You hurled me into the deep, into the very heart of the seas, and the seas swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again. The engulfing waters. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again toward your holy temple. The engulfing waters threatened me. The deep surrounded me. Seaweed has wrapped around my head. The roots of the mountains I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever. But you brought my life up from the pit, O Lord, my God. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. To those who cling to worthless idols, forfeit the grace that could be theirs. But I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. Salvation comes from the Lord. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Jonah goes to Nineveh. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you. Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh. Now, Nineveh was a very important city. A visit required 3 days. On the first day, Jonah started into the city. He proclaimed 40 more days, and Nineveh will be overturned. The Ninevites believed God. They declared a fast, and all of them, from the greatest to the least, put on sackcloth. When the news reached the king of Nineveh, he rose from his throne, took off his royal robes, covered himself with sackcloth, and sat down in the dust. Then he issued a proclamation in Nineveh. By the decree of the king and his nobles, do not let any man or beast, herd or flock taste anything. Do not let them eat or drink, but let man and beast be covered with sackcloth. Let everyone call urgently on God. Let them give up their evil ways and their violence. Who knows? God may yet relent, and with compassion turn his fierce anger so that we will not perish. When God saw what they did and how they turned from their evil ways, he had compassion and did not bring upon them the destruction he had threatened. Jonah's anger at the Lord's compassion. But Jonah was greatly displeased and became angry. He prayed to the Lord, "O Lord, is this not what I said when I was still at home? That is why I was so quick to flee to Tarshish. Come on." Oh, yeah. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live. But the Lord replied, "Have you any right to be angry?" Jonah went out and sat down at a place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in its shade, and waited to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord God provided a vine and made it grow up over Jonah to give shade for his head to ease his discomfort. And Jonah was very happy about the vine. But at dawn the next day God provided a worm, which chewed the vine so that it withered. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head so that he grew faint. He wanted to die and said, "It would be better for me to die than to live." But God said to Jonah, "Do you have the right to be angry about the vine?" This is getting what's going on here? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Something's happening. Something's happening. "I do," he said. "I am angry enough to die." But the Lord said, "You have been concerned about this vine, though you did not tend it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. But Nineveh has more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and many cattle as well. Should I not be concerned about that great city?" That was it. That was it. That was it. All right. That was it. 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 Are we gonna, is this gonna, next time, or maybe privately to myself. Well, I gotta think about this for a second, because I feel something. I'm gonna sit on it, because it's not coming all the way out. And I feel like there's a reason for that. There's a reason for everything. There's a reason why I stopped my original inspiration, stop my original influence, stop my original flow, to stop on that, just because I seen it in passing going through my original list, to speak on Jonah. What's up with this guy? There's something going on with this guy, man. What's up with this guy? He don't want to accept his man, I'm thinking like, the word is coming to me is like melancholy. Like, he's just going with the flow. He's not really, like, he's telling the dudes to throw him overboard if they want to, like, he left running away from the original plans God got, all that type of stuff. And it's just like bringing calamity where he's going, because he's not going into his purpose. There's something about this dude. Then when he finally, that's the other thing too, when he finally goes over there, do what he gotta do, everything like that, because God showed him, like, he's just like, all right, yeah, you gonna accept everything, make sure the fish go ahead and, bring him where he need to be. The people on the boat was safe. He ended up getting safe. He ended up going to the place he needed to go to what happened? Did he do what he needed to do? Because he couldn't see. These are the people that didn't know their right hand from the left. The cattle, everything was just messed up. What's going on? What is going on? What is with it? And then after that, and then the lesson that was given after that, It's like, he was teaching him about his anger. There it is. Wow. 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 So, yes. So the other day, wow, this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. He was teaching him about his anger. What did we learn in Proverbs? What did we learn in Proverbs the other day? And the other day we learned in Proverbs that this is a man of wisdom. Like the man's role has the wisdom, the discipline, the control. Like, you don't argue with fools. Like oh man, like it just really showed. And it showed, like, it talked about how anger leads to ruin. But then we come over here in Jonah. See, Proverbs, it was like a whole bunch of like boom maxims, like principles, boom, 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 boom. Dude, bam, bam, bam. Don't do this, do that. This was what happens when it's like, okay, yeah, like you can definitely, you probably can recall at least one of those proverbs in your own personal life, for sure. But the Jonah chapter, the four chapters with the Jonah, it was like, it was like showing anger in a whole different perspective. The source inspiration, the source influence for the anger, was it internal? Was it external? Yeah, if somebody upsets you, that's an external anger. But with Jonah, he didn't want to do it. He ran from the task. And when things played out how it played out, from whatever God needed his plans to play out for that city, for whatever, and they ended up changing and accepting the change and listening to God, and the destruction not being came. And so why are you mad about that? He wasn't mad. He wasn't mad about that. He wasn't mad. No, he wasn't mad that. He was not mad that God didn't destroy Nineveh. He was not mad about that. In the Ninevites. No. No way. That's not what he was angry. I gotta read that again. I'm back. I gotta read that again. But Jonah's anger at the Lord's compassion. But Jonah was greatly displeased and became angry. He prayed to the Lord, "Oh Lord, is this not what I said when I was still at home?" I'm going back to chapter 1. We're going to figure this out. Because this is Jonah flees from. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. He ain't say nothing in the beginning. You ain't say. Hold on, let me go to Jonah goes. Hold on. I'll be listening to the cry. Heard me banished the holy temple and go for the surrounded the mountain brought up from life. And like I remember the salvation of the Lord who came in the flesh of Jonah. Second time, Jonah coming. Sin of it proclaiming Jonah is available. Came 40 days. Then he issued a proclamation by the decree of the kings and the nobles. See, do not let any man be considered. He ain't say nothing. When God saw what they did, he ain't say nothing. You ain't say nothing. You ain't say nothing, Jonah. You never said nothing. Not in this book. Not here. He probably told him in private. He probably during his explanation of why he didn't want to go. It probably wasn't all right, I need you to go to Nineveh and preach against it to the Ninevites. Like, he's probably, and he's like, oh, no, they ain't. Why? They're good. There ain't nothing wrong with them. It's probably what happened. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not gonna just say, nah, he's a liar. He didn't say that. But he prayed to the Lord. Is this not what I said when I was still at home? That is why I was so quick to flee to Tarshish. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. So that's not what he said. Why would you say that you weren't going to destroy the city? This is my interpretation so far. Why would you say you weren't going to destroy the city? You knew that he wasn't going to destroy the city because you're a gracious, compassionate God. And that you didn't need to go in the first place. It's just like, was he paying attention at all to what the mission was? Like, why is he not on track? Why is he not on the same page? How is the communication breaking so badly? So many questions. And the fact that Jonah is involved with this, he's just gonna die. He's just like, I'm out of here. I don't want to. It's like, guys, wasting your time. Is that what's happening? It's like he making it look like God is wasting his. You know what? You sent me on this path. I told you I didn't want to go. You sent me anyway. I ran away. You tried to stop what I was doing. So I was like, whatever. Y'all wanna be safe? Go ahead and throw me overboard. Whatever. They threw him overboard. This is like you wanna go? It's just like, nah, if this what it is, this is what it is. Because I'm not going to Nineveh. I'm not doing that. And it's just like, I don't want to go. And it's just like, okay. But then, like, that moment when you're dying, Jonah's prayer. From inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord. He said, in my distress, I called to the Lord. And he answered me. From the depths of the grave, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You hurled me into the deep, into the very heart of the seas, and the current swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again towards your temple. The engulfing waters threatened me. The deep surrounded me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains, I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever, but you brought my life up from the pit. Oh Lord, I gotta read this again. Oh Lord, my God, when my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. You don't realize that those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs? Like, right, because it's just like nothing happened. Oh, nothing happened when the sailors, everybody called on their own God. But then nothing was happening, and it was just like, yo, playing, whatever, happy plays, got the unipray, whatever that, like, all of that. Nothing was happening, and it was just like, nothing's happening, nothing's working. And it was like, it's him. It's gotta be you. It's you, isn't it? You doing this. You doing this, huh? He's just like, throw me overboard. But and then you got thrown overboard, and it's just like, oh, they prayed to you in there. You like, oh, they go. Salvation comes from the Lord, and the Lord commanded the fishes. But I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you what I have vowed. I will make good. What is he doing? He's stressing me out. I'm getting stressed out. So in chapter 3, you done sat there. You done found God. You done seen it. And you're gonna revert back and question him again. You're gonna revert back and question him again. Yo, it's like the roles got flipped. The Lord said, you have been concerned about this vine, though you did not tend it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. But Nineveh has more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and many cattle as well. Should I not be concerned about that great city? But God said to Jonah, do you have the right to be angry about the vine? I do, he said. I am angry enough to die. Yeah, he's gonna have to learn. He's going to learn. If he didn't learn, he had to learn. This last sentence, Jonah 4:10. It has to be. It had to be because the reason for this is because you're doing. You don't know your. Oh my gosh, you're doing exactly. You may. Do you really want to be the example that he was about to make on Nineveh? I hope you get it. I hope you fix this anger issue you have. Because what right do you have to be angry? What right do you have to be angry in this sense? In this sense, what right do you have to be angry? You didn't make it. You didn't make it. You didn't tend to it. You didn't grow it. You didn't nurture it. You didn't make it. You didn't tend to it. You didn't grow it. You didn't nurture it. You didn't make it. You didn't tend to it. You didn't grow it. You didn't nurture it. Make, tend, grow, nurture. You didn't do any of that. But yet you're angry. You sat there. You're getting... All right, I'm done. What type of anger is this? Hold on. I gotta look this up real quick. Of anger is it to have feelings toward other feeling towards things that were not made, tended to, nurtured, or grow. Some people are saying righteous frustration or grieved responsibility, but when left unexamined or prolonged, it can harden into resentment or even bitterness. Unfulfilled stewardship anger. Wow. 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 It's like this type of anger is like a anger from a builder that has no blueprint, a garden staring at a barren plot, or a father watching